My girls, let me ask you this question. Who, in the world, in the whole world right now, in the earth right now, how many continents do we have? How many continents do we
Seven.
I
have?
know
Seven.
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 Seven. Excellent. Who can tell
Seven.
me the name of these continents?
I know. I know. Yes, I
Hi,
know.
Maria. Let's go, Maria, huh?
North America, South America,
Uh-huh.
Africa, Australia,
Uh-huh.
and Antarctica, and
Antarctica, okay. And
China,
no, China is
Asia,
a
Asia,
country.
Asia,
Asia, excellent.
Asia.
Uh,
and
where's Germany and France and all of these countries? In which continent?
Egypt.
No, in
Spain,
which
Spain.
Spain,
continent? The countries that talk in French, like Belgium, like France, like for example Britain. In which continent they are? Huh? Who's the super girl who can
Spain,
answer?
United Kingdom.
No, United Kingdom is a country. I need a continent.
Okay.
Continent, which means a big, big land that have other countries.
Africa.
No, Africa is for the African people.
Um.
I need the people who are talking French, like for example, like France
France.
or Belgium or Britain, the people who talk.
France.
No,
No.
France is a country.
No.
All of them exist in Europe. Europe
Europe.
continent. Europe
Yeah.
continent. So Netherlands,
I
Germany,
forgot.
we have Belgium, we have Switzerland. All of these countries are what are in the European continent. So we have 7 continents in total. This is what I want you to focus on. You have 7 continents in total. Okay? With the name of these continents, this is what we are going to see together in this PowerPoint right here. Can you see it with me? Girls, can
Yep.
you see it? Okay, that's great. Right. Continents of the world. We have 7 continents. We have Asia, Africa, Europe, Australia, Antarctica, North America, and South America. These are the continents of the world in the earth. Okay, let's go one by one and see how they exist on the map. This is the map of the earth itself, okay? And these are all the continents on the earth. So if you are in the school, I will bring you the globe so you can see it with your own eyes. But this is a picture for the whole globe, as you can see. This is the continent of Asia. This is the continent of Europe right here to the north. And to the south, we have the continent of Africa. And then here to the eastern south, we have Australia. And then we have to the west south, we have South America. And then we have North America to the north. These are what, and then we have Antarctica at the end and at the south of the world. It's right here. So somebody can say, Miss, but we have the North Pole right there and we have the Arctic. Isn't it a continent? No, I will not say it's a continent. Why? Because it is followed by the North America. يعني Arctic is part of the North America. It's not a continent by itself, but because the Antarctica right here, which is the South Pole, is very, very big, I can't consider it as a country, and it is not linked to any other land. So I will not say it's a what? It's a country of a land. No, I will say this is a continent. And if you see it on the map, you will see that it covers the south place of the earth. يعني all of that area is what is covered with snow and ice, so nobody can live in there. All of this area, we call it what? Antarctica. So we have 7 continents, as you can see right here. What we are going to focus on today is the continent of Africa. But before going to Africa, let's have simple information about each continent right here and to see the location of it. The first continent we have is Asia, the continent of Asia. Asia, as you can see right here, it's the biggest continent ever. So if I ask you in any question that which is the biggest continent of the world, you will say it's Asia. Why? Because it has the most and the biggest countries of the world. It has Russia. Russia is the biggest country of the world. You see Russia? Russia from the east to the west and from the north to the south. All of this is Russia, the blue one. And at the south of it, we have China. China also is a big, big country. It has all of this area, the yellow area. Then we have Japan also. It's included inside the Asian continent. Then we have India. India itself, it has 2 billion people. China itself, it has 2 billion people. So that's why Asia is the biggest continent ever in the whole world. Also, we have most of the Arabian countries exist also in the Asian continent, like Saudi Arabia right here in the yellow. We have Yemen, we have Oman, we have also Emirat, we have Kuwait, we have Bahrain, Qatar, Iraq, Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, and Palestine. All of these countries are inside Asia. Also, Turkey. Turkey is inside Asia. So all of these important countries, the most countries that have the most oil in the world exist in Asia. And the biggest countries in the world, which is Russia and China, exist in Asia. Also, the most populated countries over the world, like China and India, exist in Asia. That's why Asian continent is one of the most important continents around the world.
Biggest.
Yeah. Why? Because it is the biggest. This is one thing. Number two, because of the resources that it has. It has oil in there, and the most countries that have oil exist where in Asia. And the second thing, it's overpopulated, which means that the most countries that have population over the world exist also in Asia. So this is what makes Asia is the most important continent around the earth. Okay, this is for Asia. Let's go for another continent, which is the continent of Europe. Europe is at the south of Asia. Yani, if I bring Asia, this is Asia. Let me show you. This is Asia from here to here. It's on the south of Europe. And Europe isn't in the north. This is Europe. طيب, who are the countries in the Europe? These are the countries in the Europe. We have Norway, Sweden, Finland. We have Lithuania, Latvia, Belarus, Poland, we have Germany, we have Spain, we have France, we have United Kingdom. United Kingdom is a country, which is Britain. We call it also, in other words, we call it United Kingdom. We have Ireland, we have Iceland. All of these countries exist in what? In the European continent. And the most significant thing about the European continent, the people right here are what? Most of them are blonde people. Why? Because the atmosphere right there and the weather that they have, it's very, very cold, that the people there, they have different ethnicity from other people, or different race from other people, that makes them what? Makes them blonde. This is one thing. Another thing is what? Most of the people right here are talking these languages, like French, English, Germany, and also Spanish. These are the languages that is spoken right there, and also Russian, like Latvia and Belarus and Poland. Okay? And mostly we call this continent, we call it the old continent. In Arabic, we call it Al-Qara Al-Ajuz. Who can tell me why? Anybody has any idea about it?
What?
Why we call this continent of Europe, why we call it the old continent?
I know, Feiruz. Because
Hi,
it
Feiruz.
existed
Hi, Feiruz.
from a
Raise your hand, Tala.
Miss,
Hi,
I know.
Feiruz.
Okay. It's because all these are old.
All of these what? Countries, you mean?
Yeah.
In which way they are old? They exist يعني since a long time, you mean? No, this is not the reason. Hi, Tala. Try Tala, tell me why we call it the old continent.
I was going to say the same thing as her.
No, طب anybody else have another idea?
Wait, let me think. I'll think.
We call it the old continent. For
I know,
for Asia, we will not say the same. For Africa, we will not say the same, but only for Europe. Why? Ha Feiruz?
Because it's in the middle.
Because it is in the middle of the earth?
Yeah.
No, this is not the reason also. Try again. Maria or Juri? Who's talking? Jannah. Hi, Jannah.
Maybe we have all places.
Because it has all the places? No, this is not the reason, but the reason, I will tell you the reason why. We call it the old continent because most of the people who live in those countries are old people. What does it mean, old people? يعني they are above 50. most of the people who live in here. That's why these continents, they always ask for immigrants. Yani they always ask for people to come to these areas. Why? Because they don't have anybody to serve them. Most of the people here, more than 60% of the people in those countries are above 50 years old. Why, طيب يا miss? Somebody would ask, طب why they are so old like this? Why they don't have
Because
children? Huh?
Because
Why they don't have children? They have children, of course, but not at the most amount, not at the same amount of other people and other countries. Yani the people right here, they don't like to get married and they don't like to have kids. They don't like. Okay, so that's why when they reach for a certain age, they will find a lot of old people, but there's no enough children and there's no enough youth. So most of the people are old. That's why we call it the old continent. So if you compare it to Asia and Africa and other continents, you will find that the most people who have old people around the world are Europe. That's why we call it the old continent. The old continent. Okay, this is another information about Europe. But the last information that we have about Europe, it is the most or the wealthiest country around the wealthiest continent around the world. Why? طيب, somebody would ask, why? If they are so old, then how they are wealthy? Who is working for them? This is the reason, because this continent colonize other countries. They colonize Africa, they colonize Asia, and they took the resources and the food and the oil and the money and the gold of these countries and they put it in their country. That's why they become very, very wealthy. They are the wealthiest continent or the richest continent around the world. It's the Europe continent. Okay, this is for Europe. This is the information about Europe. Let's go for another continent, which is Australia. Australia, actually, it's one country, okay? But because it exists in the ocean right here, in the Indian Ocean and alone, not linked to any other land, and it's very big, it's very, very big country, then I called it what? I called it a continent. So somebody would ask, Miss, the continent, we know that it's a big land that have many countries inside it, like Asia and Africa. But Australia, Australia is only one. Then why I call it continent? Yes, because it is alone. It sits alone. It's not linked to any other, as you can see here in the map. It sits alone right here. It's not linked to any other country, and it's not linked to any other land like Asia or Africa or North America or South America. So that's why, and it's very big. Then I called it what? A continent. The continent of Australia. It is in the middle of the Indian Ocean. The people right there, they talk English, by the way, and they live in there. Okay, this is Australia. And then we have North America. North America, it is on the south of the earth. And in the North America, we have the strongest country around the world, which is America. And we have then Canada, and we have Greenland, Alaska, and Mexico, and Panama also. All of these countries exist on where? In the North America. Then we have, after it, we have the South America. South America, from its name, it comes in the south of the earth. Okay, and who are the countries that exist in here? The countries that talk in Spanish. All the Spanish language countries exist in the South America, like Brazil, Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia. We have Argentina, we have Chile, Venezuela. All of these countries, they talk in the Spanish language. That's why we have the Spanish language around the world is the third language around the world. Why? Because we have a whole continent that talk with that language. That's why it's the third language. Okay, and then we have the Antarctica, which is in the south of the earth. And I told you it is one of the biggest continent also, but it is less than Asia. But it doesn't have a lot of people who live in there. So that's why we call it Antarctica. We call it a continent. Then we have, of course, our lesson of today, which is Africa. Africa, as you can see, it is the second largest continent around the world. If you want to remember Africa, remember it as a chicken leg because it is like a chicken leg. Okay, and we have a lot of African countries in here. طيب, somebody would ask like, Miss, all the African people in Africa continent are black people? No, they are not. Why? Because if you go for in the north of Africa, you will have Egypt, Libya, Algeria, which are Arabian countries. Those people are white. They are not like, they are Middle Eastern people. Yani they are not black people. But if you go to the south, yes, you will find a lot of black people. But that doesn't mean that this continent whole is black. Okay? But we call it, however, the people call it what? The people call it the brown continent. Why? Because the people mostly in this area or in this continent are black or brown people. Okay, this is for Africa. Let's go right now and see, where is Africa? Let's go to the map and try to locate where is Africa. Africa, mostly it is in the middle of the earth, right here, as you can see. So we have to the east, we have Asia, to the north, we have Europe, to the south, we have Antarctica, to the east, to the west, we have North America and South America, and Africa in the middle. That's what makes it one of the most important continents around the world. Why? Because it comes in the middle, right here, and it is linked with Asia. There's a small link right here, which is the land of Sinai of Egypt, that link Asia to Africa. And another thing, that Africa, it has 1 billion people in this continent. So there's a lot of people are living in this continent. And another thing, the resources in Africa and the amount of things they have in Africa, like they have rivers, they have the Nile River, they have also a lot of animals. The most animals in the world, you will have it in Africa. This is another thing. The other thing about Africa is the weather of Africa. In the northern countries of Africa is the best weather around the world, that makes these countries very wealthy with the crops and with food. So the resources in Africa is many. That's why it makes it what? It makes it a place that all the people wants to control. So let's have a glance about Africa. The main water bodies that surround Africa. This is Africa. And what are the seas or the oceans around it? First, we have something we call it Mediterranean Sea. Mediterranean Sea, in Arabic, we call it البحر المتوسط. It is on the north of Africa, right here. And then we have the Atlantic Ocean on the west. In here, in this area, we have what? The Atlantic Ocean. So it's surrounded with water. And then to the south, we have Indian Ocean here in the south. But in the east, we have the Red Sea right here, which is the same sea that we have on our Jeddah, in our country. So here is Saudi Arabia and here is Jeddah. And on the other side of the sea, we have Sudan and Egypt. So if you go with the ship from Jeddah and you go to the east, you will find Egypt and you will find Sudan. You will reach there. Why? Because this is the sea between us and them. You see, so Africa right here, it's very near to Asia. But what does it make it away from Asia? It's away from Asia by this sea, and it is linked with Asia by what? By this small country right here, or small land right here, which is, we call it Switzerland or Swiss area. اللي هي منطقة سيناء, which is a small area that is part of Egypt that linked Asia to Africa. If we cut this area, then the whole continent is not linked to Asia. If we cut this area, subhanAllah, but this area, it links two continents together. Okay, this is for the water bodies around Africa. Let's go right now and have another information about Africa that is very interested, that since a long time, maybe more than 200 years ago or 150 years ago, Africa continent went through a colonizing era. What does it mean, colonizing era? يعني the other countries came to Africa and they took it as their own country. This is what I was telling you about. You remember the Europe continent? I told you it's the old continent. Well, the European continent, they went to Africa and they colonized Africa. They tried to divide the countries and they took it as their own. يعني France, it came to Africa and it says that, okay, I will take Algeria, I will take Tunis, I will take Morocco, these are mine. And he took also some of the countries to the down here. He took Niger, Chad, all of these countries, he put it under their flag and they said, these are our countries. طيب, why أصلا they came to Africa? As I told you, Africa has many resources that a lot of countries just want to come here to take these resources and their money. And I want to tell you something else, that Africa has the biggest gold and diamond mines around the world. Wow, that makes Africa the wealthiest country around the world. Before 200 years ago, Africa was the wealthiest, even more than Europe and even more than Asia. Why? Because they have the biggest gold and diamond mines around the world. So that's why the other countries like France, Italy, Britain, and America, they come to here, or Belgium, they come to here because they were greedy and they wanted to take all of this wealth from this poor country. So France take a little, Spain take a little. Spain right here take Mauritania and take also Morocco. And then Britain, it came right here and it took where? It took here, another part, and it took Egypt. Britain took Egypt also, and it took also the south of Africa. It took it for themselves also. It took also Somalia. All of these places, they were taken by these greedy continents. Also, we have Belgium. Belgium, it came also to take a little part of that cake. Why? Because it's a wealthy country. Come on, we want to have some. Also, Spain right here. Spain right here. We have Italy. Italy came to Libya, and Libya have the biggest gold mines around the world. Italy came to here and they took the gold and they went back to their country. Okay, so in that era, at that time, maybe before 150 years ago, yeah, not long time ago, those countries, they colonized Africa. We have Portugal, Spain, France, United Kingdom, Germany, Belgium, and Italy. All of them went to Africa and spent the time in there and took their resources. Okay, this is about Africa, about information about it. Then we have the largest country in Africa. Somebody would ask, who is the largest country? In your book, it's mentioned that Sudan is the largest country in Africa. Yes, this was the situation in 2011. Until 2011, Sudan was the biggest. But what happened that Sudan was divided later to have North Sudan and South Sudan. So Sudan become two sides. So South Sudan become a country and North Sudan become a country. So right now, Sudan is not, if I'm asking you right now in 2020, who is the biggest country in Africa? You will not say Sudan, you will say it's Algeria. It's Algeria. So the biggest country right now in Africa, it's Algeria. But before many years, in 2011, the biggest country was Sudan. Yes, at that time it was Sudan, but right now it's not. Okay, the smallest country, طيب يا miss, the smallest country is called Seychelles. Seychelles, you see right here, and this is small. It's a small country that it's not in the same continent of Africa, but it is away from it. But because it's not linked with any land, and it's very small, we called it what? We call it from Africa. And it's very small that it is a land, it is an island in the middle of the ocean. And the nearest continent to it is Africa. So we say this is from Africa. So because it's very small, we called it what? The smallest country in Africa. We call it Seychelles. It is in the middle of the ocean. It is an island. Okay, general information you have to know about Africa, that the people who live in Africa, they are 1 billion people. And the total land area of the planet Earth, yani if I come to compare Africa to the whole world, I will see that Africa took 20% of the whole world, of the whole globe. And it is what? It is the second largest country, the second largest continent, continent after Asia. The number of the countries in this continent are 54 countries in Africa. These are general information about it. And inshallah, the next time we'll take the next part of this amazing lesson about Africa and about the information about it. So my girls, do you have any question about this lesson today? Is it fun?
No.
Did you enjoy it? Yay or nay?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Okay, my girls, have a break right now, and I will see you inshallah later in English. Hope you have a nice day. Bye bye.
Bye.